Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to the Toast and happy Tuesday. That literally feels like a Saturday night. Like it's giving positivity. It's giving we have something to live for. It's giving joy. It's giving I met Kelly Clarkson. Like there's literally nothing not to be excited about.
It's so true. The lead story to be excited about, and it's tough because like I'm so excited to get to Kelly, but merch dropped this morning.
There is a tie for three things like I'm seriously itching to talk about. Our new merch drop, the fact that I met Kelly Clarkson last night, Justin Timberlake arrested for a DWI.
Right. So they're tied for first. We're just going to go in order of
importance.
Yeah. Merch drop this morning. Everyone's getting their merch. We're so excited. Summer collection, toasty vibes.
It's amazing. Like the t-shirt I'm wearing is the new boyfriend t-shirt. It is already sold out. It's like the best t-shirt. I'm sorry about that. Some of the pieces are close to selling out. So like Jackie said, make haste to shop toastmerch.com. We've got hoodies, we've got crew necks, we've got hats. It's really a tote. Oh, the tote.
The tote is my favorite thing. I always need a little tote bag. Not everything fits in my purse. I always need a backup bag, and I love that tote so much. It's so near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, and it's the Toast Tote, the tote, T-O-A-T.
And today I'm wearing the hoodie, which we don't make hoodies often, but I'm so grateful that we made hoodies literally this week because it's nonstop raining here. And it's like, I'll go into the grocery store, it's not raining, and I come out and it's raining. Hoodie. They're so functional. Thanks, Hood.
They're so functional. And when you come in with the rain, it's so great to be having your Toast hoodie on.
Yeah, plus it has this pocket in the front. It has cool tings on the arm. It's just a great piece.
Yeah, all of the pieces are so versatile in their colors. We've really never done mint. We have blue, we have purple, because Jackie and I have really kind of been realizing our colors and how important, like that blue crew neck and the matching sweatpants set, that is my color. Like it makes my face glowy, like whatever the color analysis is, it's that color.
I think that's a color that really looks great on everyone because it's so bright and it just brings out everyone's inner light. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a cerulean blue picked out from a pile of stuff.
From the people in this room.
Yeah.
I love that transition.
I think it is cerulean though.
I actually do think it is cerulean as well.
So get your cerulean, get your Pliny vibes on. We've got mint, we've got lilac, we've got hat, and it's all at shoptoastmerch.com. So make haste,
A lot of people were asking, they're like, I'm not going to buy the merch online because I want to buy it at the live show. Our merch is completely done online. It will not be sold in person. So if you were like waiting, don't.
There won't be merch at the shows.
And speaking of live shows, a couple of tickets left. So head to thetoastpodcast.com. We'll see you all. It's starting next week. Like we haven't even really been talking about, like we are playing the Beacon Theater
in 9 days.
Next week. Like that's so crazy.
It is so crazy. I'm really trying to prepare myself physically, mentally. I've got to get some Seamlas. Do you know what you're wearing?
I placed a big Seamla order from Revolve this morning because I woke up, oh my God, I had such a terrible dream. I feel like part of just being a modern Jewess is having Holocaust dreams, right? I had such a realistic Holocaust dream and Romeo was in it and it was like, it was such a bad dream. It woke me up. I woke up at 6:05 and I just like laid in my bed. And so yeah, I placed a Revolve swirly order for the girly swirly affair. Sorry, not to like bring the Holocaust into this.
For sure. Okay. Highs and lows. I made a big cart last night on Saks.com. I made a big cart, but I didn't press order yet. And like, that's what I'll do this morning. Hopefully it's one of those places where they keep my cart until I'm ready. I hate that 30-minute lost my cart.
I think as like a society, we have actually moved past that. I don't believe there are any websites that clear out your cart anymore. If there are, shame them in the comments. Name, shame, and the cart game, because that is a federal offense.
So I've been doing a lot of online shopping recently, like for the boys, for summer, and a lot of times I make a big cart. I don't immediately buy it, and then like the next day I'll see the tab there, and then I buy it. So I've been experiencing whether or not they part with our carts.
No, and I'm so paranoid. Like I'll screenshot it before I just like minimize the tab and pay for it tomorrow. But I shouldn't have to do that. I don't know if there are any remaining retailers, like, and I'm talking about the big name retailers who still do that. If there are, like, shame on you.
No, like come into the 21st century. It's nice here.
Join us.
Join us. Don't part with our carts. Now there's a cause to champion
that we can all get behind.
No, I'm sure someone's like, no, it's good because someone else was waiting for that item.
No, Jackie, it's this. Well, actually, I think it's better when companies do that because it helps fight consumerism and capitalism at its finest. It's like overconsumption, whatever, like people are saying,
because if you
overconsumption.
If you didn't order it in the moment, do you even really need it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I just like to wait until it's the last minute and I have to pay for expedited shipping, because why pay for free shipping?
No, why make it easy?
Why give myself time when I could be rushed and stressed?
Speaking of looking gorgeous, last night was one of the better nights of my life, you know? And it was so layered. So I have been planning on going to this screening last night. Prime Video is putting out, we all know, we've been talking about it a lot, Celine Dion's allegedly very telling, you know, it's been very secretive. They haven't done any screenings, like what's happening in this documentary. Last night I was invited to a screening and I was going regardless. And I didn't really realize until I think I arrived that she was confirmed attending. I thought maybe she would show up, but I was really going because I wanted to see the documentary. I had really no idea what I was walking into. But it said cocktail chic, and I was like, okay, maybe I should get dressed up. So I did, and I loved my outfit. I was feeling so good. I haven't seen Brian in a while. We were just like feeling really excited. When I got there, it was very clear this was a fabulous event. Like it was at Lincoln Center. It was giving just like socialite energy, you know? We were in this like little VIP holding room before the screening started with like drinks and snacks and music. And I saw Gayle King. It was like very elite New Yorker energy.
Who else did you see?
I saw Derek Blasberg, elite New York energy.
Who else did you see?
Well, let me tell you. So I'm like, oh, this is fabulous, Brian. Like, I didn't even know what we were getting into. And I was already like having the best night ever. And I go sit and I have great seats. And I'm sitting for like literally 15 minutes before I realize that Kelly Brianne Clarkson is right behind me, like 2 seats to the right. And I immediately like can't breathe. I actually don't recall ever having like such a physical reaction to another human being. Like, not to be annoying, like I meet celebs a lot, like it's a part of the job.
She's electric.
I was so shook at her regularity, I almost missed her. Like, she was just a woman sitting, and we were sitting for like 45 minutes before the screening started. It was supposed to start at 8. It got started at like 8:40-ish. Kelly was so calm, cool, collected, like, and I was freaking out. So I didn't know what to do. Like, I knew I had to say something, but I didn't want to be annoying. I didn't know what the right way to handle it was, and I'm freaking out, and Brian's like so chill, and I'm like, you don't understand, Brian. That's like, for you, it's Celine Dion. Like, imagine Celine Dion sitting behind you.
Yeah.
And he was understanding, and he was like, just go. I'm like, I can't. Like, I just didn't know what to do. And I also felt this like overwhelming sense of guilt because you weren't there.
Yes, but you know, like, you really thrive in those situations, and I'm just glad to hear the story, really. And the story, as you were about to tell it, is so great for the whole Toast universe.
So I get up, and I'm like, if I don't do it, like, I never will, and I'll regret it. And so I go over, and I just lean over. So she's on the aisle, but there's a girlie sitting in the aisle, and Kelly right next to the girlie. And I lean over, and I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I will be 3 seconds of your time, ma'am. And this is exactly what I said. I said, Kelly, I would legitimately lay my life out on the line for you. And she was like cracking up. She was like, wait, oh my God, we were just talking about you.
She's recognize me?
She's like, Claudia, right? I'm like, Kelly Brianne. And she's like, yeah. And she pointed to her friend who was sitting next to her. She was like, she was just telling me about y'all.
She was telling me about y'all.
Y'all. And I was like, oh, there's a swirly in Kelly's midst. Good to know. And she was like, so fucking nice. So fucking cool. I don't even really remember exactly what I said, but I know I said a couple of things. I'd lay my life out on the line for you. I said, you're the greatest thing to happen to America. I said, Kelly Clarkson is uniting the nation. We need you now more than ever. No, the Kelly Clarkson show unites the nation. And she was like telling me she just came from the Kelly Clarkson show. She was like, I don't normally wear this much makeup. I'm sorry, like look a little crazy. I'm like, Kelly, don't you dare apologize to me. And she was like telling me about the karaoke she did. And she was, I totally forgot to tell you all of this. She sang a Sia song and she was like telling me about it. Bird
Set Free.
And she was like, did you know Adele wrote that song? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. She's like, yeah, Adele and Sia. I'm like, thank you so much for sharing that with me, Kelly Clarkson. And then she was like, do you want to do a picture? And I was like, if you don't mind, because I didn't want to make her get up. I was gonna live without it.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, of course. She took a million. She's like, move, the lighting stinks. Brian, get in one. she could not have been more gracious, more lovely. Like they say, never meet your heroes, but if your hero is Kelly Clarkson, you are completely safe. Mark yourself as safe. She was like, there are literally no words. Oh, and then I was like, and we were done with the photos. I was like, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm totally done. But I do want to tell you, like, I used to be hella overweight. She was like, me too. And I told her I ran this 5K that was like kind of like just a big deal for me. It was like this milestone. And Invincible was just the soundtrack of that journey for me. And it got me through that journey. And she was just like, I love that. Jackie, I could not conjure up one negative thing to say about the experience, except that I was probably a freak and my face was probably so red. Like, I don't remember ever having such a reaction to I don't know if anyone that I've ever met I felt that way about. Like, and hands down, the best encounter I've ever had with a celebrity.
I mean, it all makes sense, you know, because that's what you would think would happen. But just to know, confirm that she's the person that we think she is, she's actually even better.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did turn around a couple of times, like during the documentary, to see her reaction. Like, she was eating it up.
Did
like,
she enjoyed herself?
She wasn't distracted. She wasn't on her phone. She wasn't chit-chatting. She wasn't snacking. She wasn't running to the bathroom. I actually ran to the bathroom and I had to like walk in front of Kelly. I felt so bad, but I like couldn't hold my pee in. And she loves Celine. I wonder if like Celine's going to go on KCS.
I could see it.
But it was like just obviously an event where like important New Yorkers in media were invited, and I was just honored to be one of them.
For sure. I thought the other person you were going to say who you saw was my friend.
MF.
Mary Orton.
So me and Brian walk in, we walk the red carpet. It was so fabulous. And we're walking, they give us these little bracelets, and we're literally heading upstairs. And Brian runs into this girl, Lindsay, that he knows. And so I know her too, but like through Brian. So it's Brian's friend. We like turn around, and this girl, Lindsay, is talking to Mary Orton. I'm like, I did a double fucking take. Last person on the planet I was expecting to see, Mary Orton. She lives in Milwaukee, correct?
No.
She lives in Wisconsin.
Yes.
I just wasn't fucking expecting to see her. And I was like, MFMO, is that you? She was like, Jackie didn't tell you I was coming? You knew she was coming?
I did know she was coming. And it's like, you know how we're always FaceTiming and I call you and it's like, oh, fuck, I forgot what I was going to tell you. Like that was one of those things. That was one of those things.
We spent like the whole pre-cocktail hour, like maybe like hour and a half together, just chit-chatting. Met her husband, Mr. Orton.
Rich was there?
Rich, yes, Rich. I would call him, I have respect, I call him Mr. Orton.
You call him by his wife's maiden name.
Oh my God, is that not his last name?
No.
Oh, I'm cracking up. Oh my God, so I kept calling him Mr. Orton. That's so rude. But by the way, he was like, I love the toast. He's like, I really respect what you guys have built. Like, in the podcast, sometimes we're like working late, and I say, Mary, have you listened to the new episode of the toast yet? Do you want to listen to it now? He like loves it.
King. Respectful king.
And I just like loved Mary. And you want to hear the funnest fact about Mary Orton, and I assume why she was at this event?
Please let me know.
Celine Dion follows her on Instagram, and Celine Dion follows 60 people, and most of them are like Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music.
I could see her loving Mary's content, like, because Celine has a very like specific sense of humor, as does Mary. I could see their styles be like, I see it. That makes sense.
Yeah, when she told me that, like I was like actually jealous. Brian, oh my God, I couldn't even look at Brian. Brian was like seriously like so, and Brian was very taken with Mary Orton. She has this presence, and they're both tall. They were talking about like their tallness,
like tall people stuff.
Yeah, and she's like she has this way about her. Brian, I think, was very swept away with her.
Right? She's enchanting.
Yeah. Enchanting, perfect word.
I've been trying to tell you, but I'm so glad you got to experience the magic of Mary Orton, and now we could just be like a group of friends.
Yeah, it was kind of like a night filled with Mary Orton and magical energy with Kelly. Like, I actually felt bad. The night was so Jackie coded.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it basically is like if you booked a very last minute trip to St. Bart's with Tinks. Like, that is so probably how I would feel.
Like your dream evening. And that's my dream evening.
You couldn't paint an evening more Jackie coded.
It's so true.
Oh, and let me tell you this documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Chilling.
Good?
I thought they were being dramatic in the beginning, like, and I was just like, what are they going to show us in this documentary that's that crazy? And you know what? They did. There are two scenes, one in the beginning and one in the end. First of all, they do a good job of explaining what the disorder is, because I'm sure most people haven't heard of stiff person syndrome. It's a neurological disorder that affects 1 in 1 million people, and it's more likely to happen in women. So it's super rare. There's like no studies being done on it. And you know, you can't help but think about the person who has this disease who's not Celine Dion,
right,
who doesn't have sports medicine, a team of sports medicine doctors living in her house. Like, but basically what the disease is like your muscles just are working against your body. And as more time goes on, your muscles reject everything. And for her, one of her strongest muscles is her voice. And it started happening a couple of years ago where she would like kind of lose the ability to talk or sing for like a minute, and it like freaked her out. And it just very slowly got worse and worse and worse. And there was a point where she was on almost 300 milligrams of Valium just to keep her muscles at bay to perform. And then it got to a point where she had to cancel all those shows. It was just like she couldn't walk.
So when did it start?
So it was like she said like years ago, these weird things would happen to me and like I didn't know what they were. And it was all like different muscles, sometimes in her voice, sometimes in her hands, sometimes in her feet. And then like I think after COVID, it got to a point where like it was not livable anymore to not like, to keep working and touring. And they had all this old footage of her. And it was just like, it was so devastating because like, of course, you know Celine, you know, the voice.
Yeah.
But you forget, like, the Celine the singer, Celine the fashionista, the Celine girl who used to do it all, travel the world. Like, she was a busy, active person. And so to see it, like, that footage juxtaposed with the person and, like, the way she lives now. I will say the documentary, I feel, was filmed, I think they said 3 or 4 years ago, because her sons in it are very young. And then I just saw a picture of them, and, like, they're definitely, like, 16 now. And I think they were maybe 12, 13 at the time. But there's a scene... in the beginning, they catch it on camera. She was just like showing off, and she had such a good day thus far. She had like just gone back in the studio for the first time, and she was like, she didn't sound as good as she wanted, but like she could do it. And so she goes in for like one of her routine like massages. Not massage, you know, like sports medicine, whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm having like a little bit of a spasm in my foot. And you watch as the spasm goes from her foot to her whole body. Jackie, her fingers are like this. She's paralyzed. There's tears coming out of her eyes. Her lip is twitching. She can't move. They have to pick her up, put her on her side. The only thing she can do is scream. The scream is so chilling. It really puts into perspective like how serious of a condition this is, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know how many minutes it goes on, but they have to give her these 2 shots of like a nasal spray.
Oh my God.
And if it doesn't work, they have to call 911. It was so scary. Jackie, the room was silent. So it was filled with like half like New York media press people, and then the other half like Celine's #1 fans, like people who were waiting outside the red carpet. They brought them into the first couple of rows, and they were like, every time Celine sang, they screamed. Every time Celine made a joke, they laughed 10 times harder than anyone else. Anytime something sad happened, they cried harder. Like it was like overly emotional for them. But that scene, oh my God, it was scary.
Well, so the documentary, though, you would recommend that people watch?
Yeah, she doesn't have people come in and speak on her behalf. It's all her. There's no doctors, experts, testimonies. There's no friends from childhood. Okay. It's just Celine. It's also amazing to see how she lives. Like, she is Deborah Vance. She lives in Vegas.
Interesting.
It's like not shocking because like she spent so much of her life there, and I'm sure her kids have roots there, but she is French Canadian. I just like, I don't know, I didn't expect.
Well, it's like not too far from Canada.
Quebec? No, it's not. I don't know why.
Quebec on the west or the east or the center?
I think west. Actually, maybe center. Yeah, center. I don't know. Yeah, center.
And like
center.
It's very low taxes.
Is it?
Vegas?
Oh, I thought you meant Quebec.
Oh, I don't know about the tax system in Quebec.
No, and so she has this like full-blown warehouse. There was an episode of Hacks like this season with every look she's ever worn like completely cataloged. It was really crazy. And she's obviously like beaming with talent, but she's beaming with personality.
Yeah.
Like, in another life, like she could have done stand-up. She's extremely funny. So the documentary like was hysterical. It was sad. It was scary, and then it was also enjoyable. They put, and I really want to thank them, like so much high quality footage of her concerts over the years. No David Foster sighting, which obviously was a disappointment. But really an amazing, you know me, I'm very critical of celebrity documentaries. Like you don't always need to put out a documentary. Celine Dion needed to put out a documentary. She had a lot to say. She came, she spoke before, she spoke after. It was powerful, 10 out of 10. It's added to Turdy's list of approved celebrity documentaries.
Wow. You know what? I think I actually have that list. Let me pull it up.
And also I think it clears up a lot of what's been going on. Because most people haven't heard of this disorder. And it doesn't sound like what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stiff person syndrome, I don't know. It doesn't sound as serious as what it is.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah. So I don't have a list for your documentaries that you like, but I do. It's a subcategory on Claudia's like things that she likes to talk about. Lady Gaga versus Shawn Mendes. That's the trope.
Lady Gaga versus Shawn Mendes. Katy Perry's Part of Me is on there too. And now Celine.
Now Celine. Okay, great. All I can think about was, did Brian get a picture with Kelly Clarkson?
Yes, the three of us.
Do you think he'll caption it Kelly Brianne?
Kelly, Brianne, Kelly. I don't know if he will, but I hope he hears this and is inspired.
Also, if you're like a new toaster and you don't keep up with pop culture, Kelly Brianne is Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, she there was a story in the news like a year ago that she was changing her name
from Kelly Clarkson to Kelly Brianne, like her legal name, which would definitely, if we ever got her on the toast, like would be the first question that we ask her, and kind of the only question.
She references it in the album. You can have my name, I changed it anyway. Why? It was her name, not his.
When you met her, did you say Kelly Brianne?
No, I didn't. Like, Jackie, I couldn't even think of like the toast lore
associated I understand. With this queen. I understand.
My goal was to let her know, like, she's incredible and I will take up as little amount of your time as possible. But
understood.
And by the way, she engaged with me and continued the conversation. I never would have let it go on that long.
Okay. So beautiful. Queen.
And Queen Swirly, who works closely with Kelly, I'm not sure in what capacity, perhaps they're friends or they work together. Allie, who did the Lord's work.
Allie, who was an ally to the toast.
She laid the groundwork.
And we were just talking about y'all.
The reason it went as swimmingly as it did was solely because of Allie.
We were just talking about y'all.
Y'all. So I feel like Kelly on the toast is 1,000% in the realm of possibility. She's obviously, I forget, she's like a gal about town now in New York. Since the KCS moved to New York, she's in 30 Rock. I wonder if she lives in the city. I bet she lives in the suburbs.
But yeah.
Late night.
She deserves it. She works so hard.
Laverne Cox was there looking like seriously the most sickening outfit on the planet. And I could tell she like knew that she looked so gorgeous because she like wouldn't sit down, you know? Like she was walking to her seat and like was making conversation with everyone. Like I spoke to her. Like
that's so funny.
She just wanted everyone to see her outfit. And honestly, if I was wearing that and I had that body, I wouldn't sit down.
I feel that. Were you getting flashbacks to your engagement at Lincoln Center? Like, does that place hold a special place in your heart?
Literally, I didn't even think about it once. I completely forgot. But also, we were in a different part. We were at Alice Tully Hall. We were in like Lincoln Center, the neighborhood, not like the actual center with the fountain.
Yeah, because Turt got engaged at Lincoln Center.
I did. I'm so iconically New York.
You really are. That is a fun fact about you.
And honestly, like, that kind of makes sense as to why I was invited last night, you know?
Yeah.
You're an important woman in New York media.
Important woman in Lincoln Center lore.
Well, that too. Lincoln Center history.
They should invite you to everything.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was just a great night. I'm sorry you weren't there, but I felt your spirit with me.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you had such a great time. So many wonderful people, had awesome shooters, and watched an awesome documentary.
And to the Prime Video, the girlie on the Prime Video team who put my seat, because it was a big theater. I like Mary Orton was so far from me. I bet Mary Orton didn't even see Kelly Clarkson. Like that's how big it was. Whoever put me near her, like they were. It wasn't a coincidence. Like somebody somewhere was looking out for Turd, and I really appreciate it.
Somebody somewhere. That's beautiful.
So that's 2 out of 3 important things that we needed to discuss.
Right. And the third will come in the Fast 5. So I guess without further ado, because we've made much ado about Kelly, as we should.
Much ado about Kelly Brianne.
Yes, that's the title.
1,000%.
Without further ado about Kelly Brianne, it is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by GNC. So GLP-1 medications are taking the world by storm, helping many people like myself transform their lives through weight loss. But all the possible side effects can definitely be an obstacle to success. And I think a lot of people, for me at least, like the number one question I get when I talk about it is, well, weren't you afraid that you were going to lose the weight once you go off of it? And I think for a lot of people, that's a huge concern. And what I've learned in my journey, keeping most of the weight off, is preparedness. And GNC is a perfect place to shop if you want to be prepared, because I'm the type of person where if I can maintain my hunger level, like I can have success. But if I'm busy or I forget, I'll get to a point in the day where I'm so hungry, like I'm going balls to the wall. Everything I've learned over the last year has been forgotten, and like it's just pizza pie to the face. With GNC, I shop there a lot in person. There's actually one by my house and also online for protein-filled snacks, hunger-satisfying snacks, like their line of Total Lean protein shakes, which are delicious and are filled with protein and not super high calorie. I love their protein bars. They also carry brands that I love. Staying hydrated is really important. They have a ton of great hydration like multipliers like Liquid IV, which we love. They have a ton of great brands, different flavors. So if you're in the market for Whether you took GLP or not, if you're in the market for hunger-satisfying snacks, great protein bars, great shakes, head to GNC. If you need craveable, hunger-satisfying snacks, find the best flavors at GNC. Right now, get 25% off their best-selling GNC Total Lean when you use our code TOAST25 at gnc.com/toast. Today's episode is also brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place and all on your own terms. It's 2024. Like, do you have a janky website? Because we're all talking about you behind your back. Head to Squarespace. It's the most accessible, affordable, and easiest, quickest way to get a website off the ground. Whatever you do for a living, you most likely need a website. If you're a graphic designer, if you create, if you're a photographer, a videographer, you sell courses, you have e-commerce, like whatever it is, you need a website. And Squarespace has all the tools that you need to get it off the ground. If you sell custom merch, you can do that. On Squarespace, you can design your products, production, inventory, shipping will be handled for you. If you have an online store, Squarespace is there for you. If you want to send email campaigns, if you want to dig into your analytics, if you want to start a blog, whether you're a content creator, influencer, girly, whatever it is, Squarespace has the tools to get your website looking professionally made, up off the ground, in not a crazy amount of time. And of course, we've worked out a code. So if you go to squarespace.com, you'll get a free trial. Once you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/toast and you will end up saving 10% on your first purchase of a website or a domain. So that's squarespace.com for the free trial. And then once you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/toast to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Today's episode is also brought to you by Lumi. If the summer heat has you worrying about the strength of your deodorant, listen up. We're about to turn you on to the only deodorant that you'll ever need. It's called Lumi Whole Body Deodorant, and it's formulated for all the places that tend to get stinky when the weather warms up, like your pits, your privates, and your feet. I'm definitely a girl who runs warm, and of course, my armpits are of concern, but not primary. I feel like, I don't know why deodorant is always focused on the armpits. They're important, but have you ever had, under boob sweat? Have you ever had the crevices behind your knees start acting up? Getting that sweet sort of smell. And I love Lumi deodorant because it's whole body deodorant. It is created by an OBGYN, so she saw firsthand how normal body odor is. But then also her products are pH balanced, so if you want to use it below the belt, you don't have to worry about that. You can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, or toasted coconut. And it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. It is free of baking soda and it is paraben free. I love the concept. Let's just embrace, let's just be honest. We smell, and it's not just our armpits. It's everywhere. It's our necks, it's our underboob. So we have a special offer for our listeners. Our customers can get 15% off all Lumi products. They also have mini body washes, deodorant wipes. You can get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. So use our code TOAST for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code TOAST at LumiDeodorant.com. The starter pack is perfect for new customers.
Thank you, La.
You're welcome, Ja.
Our first story, the big news of the day, Justin Timberlake was arrested in New York for a DWI. So sources connected to law enforcement told TMZ that Justin was at the American Hotel partying, and almost immediately after he left and began driving, he blew a stop sign. Cops saw that and began to follow him. TMZ was told that Justin began swerving and cops pulled him over. Sources say cops performed a field sobriety test and asked Justin to take a breathalyzer test, but he refused. They're also told several of Justin's friends came on the scene and tried to convince cops to cut him a break, but they refused. Justin was handcuffed and arrested, and apparently it's all on body cam. This was in Sag Harbor. For the Sag Harbor Police Department told TMZ that the singer was currently in custody at their station. The rep wouldn't disclose more information at the time, but TMZ confirmed he was arrested for driving while intoxicated. Then, as of 10:15 this morning, he was arraigned and released without bail. He has been charged with one count of DWI and cited for running a stop sign and failure to keep in his lane. The next court date is July 26. He's being repped by criminal defense lawyer Ed Burke Jr. As for the traffic stop, law enforcement sources told TMZ cops observed him glassy-eyed, and they said that they smelled alcohol on his breath. They say he failed the field sobriety test when asked to do a one-legged stand and a walk and turn.
Don't say I didn't warn ya. We all know how I feel about Justin Timberlake, and we all know how I feel about people who drive under the influence. Now, I want to say there's no good place to drive while drunk, but there are places like regions that are particularly bad to drive drunk in. The Hamptons roads are so curvy, so dark, so dangerous, sober at night. The fact that nobody got hurt, himself included, is such a miracle. He's such a piece of shit. There is literally no excuse to drive drunk, especially if you're of enormous wealth. Get a driver, call an Uber, have your wife come pick you up, have your assistant come pick you up, have your chef come pick you up, have your nanny come pick you up, have your house manager come pick you up, have your gardener come pick you up. Like, seriously, pay a random man on the side of the road. That's literally less dangerous than driving drunk. I hate you. I will always hate you. I was on to you. You're working so hard, you and your wife. I eat in the shower. So hard to make us forget who you are. And it almost worked. I felt like a lot of, the PR around you, your tour, everybody was like, oh my God, his voice sounds so good. Justin Timberlake is back. You were never back in my book. You're a piece of shit slob and I fucking hate you. And you're reckless and you need serious help. And you will never, ever have my support. Ever.
Yeah, what Turdy said. I feel like this is really bad. This is bad, period. But it's definitely bad for Justin Timberlake. It was the last thing that he needed in his run up to a comeback. He's on tour right now. He was just in Florida. People like around here were being like, are you going to Justin? I actually even thought about it for a second because I know my husband would love it. But he didn't make a lot of fuss about it. So then I just quickly dropped it. But it's
off
like
into the night.
I don't know if this will affect his tour dates. Like, what if he has a concert July 26th when he's meant to be in court for his
Not
DWI?
only that, he might get like court mandated. Sometimes they like let you off without whatever if you like commit to like a 30-day program or whatever.
Right.
So,
no, it's seriously like he went out to dinner, drinking with friends, as one does. To expect that then you should get back in the car and drive is so crazy.
No, I literally hate, like, you're a father. You're a husband. Like, what are you doing? Grow the fuck up. And I'm sorry, I feel like a lot of the hate for Justin Timberlake is things he did in his youth, in his past. And I don't think doing bad things in your past ultimately makes you a bad person in the present. I'm full of grace. Although, with Justin Timberlake, I'm full of grace, but like a watchful eye as well. No, like, you're literally dead to me.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Like, as if you needed to give people a reason to hate you. Now we like really have another one, like a current one, not something from the Super Bowl in 2004, not something from Britney in the early 2000s. Like, yes, the documentaries just came out, but the crimes allegedly were 20 years ago. No, we have a present day actual crime. And Turdy is much like an elephant. She doesn't forget.
She doesn't forget a DWI from someone who she already didn't like.
I want to forgive you. And I want to forget you.
However, sometimes Turdy can be getting fast and loose with the memory when it's someone she likes.
Yeah, no, I am more likely to, I get, like, who are you referring to?
Well, one example that we cite, though it wasn't her, like Reese Witherspoon. But at this point, because we cited so much, we actually have remembered. But I could give you another example of someone who you've probably forgotten about.
Who?
Tiffany Haddish.
Forgetting what? What do you mean?
That she had a DUI, like literally not even a year ago.
But I don't like love Tiffany Haddish.
Okay.
And I think if you were to ask me, like, I would probably like not. I'd say I don't stan. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't want to say it because she was really young. But like, who has one? Okay. Like, I don't want to say it because she's done so much work and she's one of my favorite people.
Oh, Nicole Richie.
No, actually.
That's another one.
But yeah, they could never make me hate her.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe.
Right.
But see, to me, like...
Right.
To me, with like Chloe and Nicole Richie, they were both like, super young. Like I it's horrible. But to be like a grown man father is very different than like a Nicole Richie to me. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at a list of celebrity DUIs. George W. Bush. Excuse me? He was arrested in 1976 for a DUI.
That was before he was president?
Way before, yeah.
Okay.
Didn't know that. Add him to the list. Everyone else is the people that you remember. Yeah, so I guess it's not like one of your absolute faves in present time has done it. But when it's like Sam Hunt and you already didn't like him and now you have reason.
No, I think Sam Hunt is the perfect example. Before his DWI, I love that album. That first album he released is one of the best country music albums of all time. Mm-hmm. And I had to take a step back.
I don't think that's what happened.
Okay, I never was obsessed with him, but I didn't despise him. Now I do.
No, yeah. Okay. Well, Justin Timberlake, do better. In an earnest way.
Yeah, in an earnest way. This is an
earnest plea for you to do better.
And if you can't accept that or hear that, then you're really a lost cause.
And for anyone who is drinking and driving or thinking about it.
Oh, I thought about it. The night was so coded, Jackie, because
your butt was hurting.
No offense to the Alice Tully Hall. Literally the most uncomfortable seat, and my dress was so tight. My ass was fucking pain radiating to my cheeks, into my vagina.
Every seat is uncomfortable when you have what we have right now.
What do we have?
I don't know. And also, do we not even have the same thing? Because you're saying tailbone and I'm saying upper cheek. Oh, and I'm sure you saw all the doctors chiming in yesterday being your disc is out of place. I think that one was for you with your tailbone issues.
I did see a lot of people recommending I go to a chiropractor. Honestly, I'm so desperate.
Are you going to go to see Frank again and take your pants off?
Oh, Frank wasn't a chiropractor, Jackie. He was a physical therapist.
Oh, sorry. I should have more.
Which might benefit me in this moment as well. Oh my God, I'm literally not okay. Oh.
I saw one thought about my upper cheek pain, something about a stretch that would help me.
Okay. Was Ben Soffer leaving the comments?
Maybe. By the way, did he ever tell you where he learned decision paralysis?
Yeah, he said he has no idea. I don't know why I thought he would remember. He can't even remember to pick up his laundry.
I just want to say that's something that you say when you learned it from your girlfriend.
The plot thickens.
That's really annoying. I think we'll have to go listen to every episode of The Good. Actually, plenty of you listen to every episode of The Good Guys. Did they say it on GG's? Let us know.
Ben does have a girlfriend, and her name is Josh Peck. Nobody spends more time than Josh and Ben, and they don't even live in the same state.
That's cute. That's me and you, though. We're partners.
Oh, man, it's so true.
He deserves to have, a partner on the side.
He does.
A life partner.
To, communicate with via FaceTime.
Yeah, because, what is he doing when you're FaceTiming me all day?
Telling me to get off.
It's so true. He's so toxic. You guys will be in bed, and if he's there, I know I have literally 30 seconds to tell you whatever I want to say to you. I know I'm not going to get any follow-up questions or actual interest in what I'm saying because Ben is there I want to watch TV.
I didn't know if you knew when I hang up really quickly, it's because of Ben. By the way, I'm so going to expose
It's because of your controlling husband.
Jackie, we'll be in bed, we'll be doing nothing, by the way. It's not like I'm interrupting something. Sometimes, actually, I am interrupting something, and you'll call me, and I'll be looking at my phone, and I'll get a text from Ben. It'll be can you hang up?
Rude.
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew that. We thought we were being subtle. Well,
no, I know the energy. When I could tell you, when Ben's in the room or when he's not, based on how you're responding to me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just tell him in those moments, call Josh.
Call Josh. What if you just called Josh up?
Now would be a good time for you to call Josh.
Yeah, you and Josh have anything to catch up on?
I'm sure they do, as partners in crime.
Yeah.
Are you ready for our second story? It's only the second story.
Oh my God, yeah.
Kevin Costner defends, quote, selfishly casting his son Horizon over experience. Sorry, his son's not named Horizon.
Oh.
The movie is called Horizon. His son in Horizon over experienced actors. So Kevin Costner has defended his decision to cast his son Hayes in the film Horizon, an American Saga, despite him not having any acting experience. He cast his 15-year-old son as Nathaniel Kittredge. I don't know if there's any relation to Kit Kittredge. I hope there is.
Is it a World War I movie?
It's no. Yeah, Kit was Great Depression, so then, she probably grew up before. She wasn't born. But this is a Civil War era Western. And he cast his son without an audition. He said the movie was...
And what's his reasoning?
Selfish. He's a beautiful boy and he's quiet. And I have not shoved my son into the business. I realize there are so many young actors out there that would kill to be in this movie, and I don't want to take those parts away from them just because I can place my own children in.
But you did.
But he did. He said, in a sense, it was a smaller part. I selfishly wanted him with me for the week. 2 weeks he was with me, and we would drive to the set every day, and he would whisper. Despite having no acting experience, he praised Hayes for showcasing a really beautiful performance. He didn't have a lot of experience, but he's really beautiful in the movie. It's a really complicated scene. In the end, there's a nobility. There's an absolute fatalness about it. It's what you want in a son.
Now, I don't think if Kevin Costner like hadn't answered this, any of us would be like sitting around thinking, you know, Kevin Costner should have let a young actor with experience get this role. But like he's kind of pointing it out, which I guess is a strategy. I'm just not the type of loser like who's bothered by like nepotism in Hollywood. I think like on the list of world issues, it's just not a priority for me. So nice that they got to drive to work together, you know?
Yeah, sweet. I agree. At least he's owning up to it. But the thing about Kevin Costner is like, I don't get the sense that he cares what any of us have to say about anything he does or anything about this. I feel like with other people, when they're talking about like their nepotism, like you can tell they're so nervous and they're like insecure. And so when you poke them, they just fall right over because they don't stand for much. But like,
actually, a lot of people were recently praising Maya Hawke. She was asked about it. She's really the perfect example of nepotism.
And she had a very good response.
She basically was like, I know that I get opportunities that other people don't get, that maybe they deserve more than me because of my parents, and I'm okay with that. That's what she said.
Yeah, she said, like, I'm probably where I am because of that, and I recognize it, and that's the truth.
And she said, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Kevin Costner's not out here like looking for universal love and adoration, because if he was, he would get the fuck back to work. But no, he literally doesn't give a rip.
Right.
About anything or anyone. I'm surprised he even does press at this point. Like he's so sort of like polarizing in how little he gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Which is inspiring, honestly. I would love to get to a place like that where like I don't care what people think about me.
And I'm sure in some way like this is his project.
Yeah, it sounds like, because I never heard of this movie, it sounds like it's giving indie, you know, I financed it myself.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what Yellowstone was until everyone fell in love with it. It was just like a weird show on Paramount Plus that wasn't going to be much, but it turned out to be an incredible show. Like when Yellowstone premiered, and it took years for them to get any award nominations or anything. Like it's not like a media darling of a show. It's like someone's weird little indie project made by a rancher, Taylor Sheridan.
On this like random ass network that had just been like rebranded from the lip sync show. I don't know.
Right. They made like Yellowstone has now made Paramount Plus, but before that it was kind of like a random thing for him to do. And so if this is his project in some way, it's like, what's the point of getting to his age, his success, if then you can't like make your life work for you? I want to bring my son to work every day. I want to give him a little something to do. He's a shy boy. Great.
A dream. The way I don't care like about the missed opportunities for another young actor, like I don't know, maybe I have a lot going on in my life these days. Like to me, like I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? The young actors will be okay.
No, I agree.
No, and the less like young actors with stage parents who get opportunities, the better. I wish for all child actors to fail, because nobody should be one. And that's what AI should be used for. It should be illegal to be in any sort of production until you're 18. And if you need a kid in a movie, generate one on AI. How about that? That's a good use of AI.
I think that this is a really strong message.
Yeah, like we wouldn't be having any documentaries like Quiet on Set if Dan Schneider had just used exclusively AI-generated teenagers and children.
Okay, and then what if those teenagers and children are being mistreated, the AI ones?
I'm so glad you asked. I don't give a fuck. They're not real.
So you're a speciesist?
Yes. I think we've had this conversation before. I am a proud speciesist.
Okay, I won't tell Larry Page.
Don't. And if you actually do talk to Larry Page, tell him to eat my ass, okay?
I will. I will tell him that. Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
Kenya Moore is speaking out after being suspended indefinitely from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh my God, I'm so glad we're talking about this, because I've been following it on Twitter and it's really, really polarizing the community. Go.
Okay, tell me what everyone's saying, but this seriously cracked me up. Kenya Moore wants her fans to know that she stays winning, even though Bravo has suspended her indefinitely from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Shortly before Page Six broke the news of her suspension on Friday, Kenya told her Instagram followers to tune into a live for the real tea. Heart emoji, peach emoji, hashtag RHOA. Yeah. The Bravo celebrity held true to her word in live streaming at 6 p.m. Eastern time, but all she did was give viewers a tour of her new Kenya Moore hair spa. Despite fans begging Moore in the comments to address the news, she chose to focus on her shop. However, she cryptically said toward the end of the video, quote, "I stay winning. It is in my blood. Success matriculates around me, so I accept that. God has given me that. You will be seeing me. I'm not going anywhere despite all the stuff surrounding whatever it is people decided they want to write."
Okay, so what had happened was that there was a rumor that during a scene filmed at Kenya's salon, she made a speech or whatever, and she pointed to the monitors, and on the monitors were like sexually explicit photos of the new cast member. And people had said at first that it was like, photos of this girl like doing sexual acts, like that the girls like took these photos. So everyone was like, oh my God, like that's revenge porn. Like that's really like a serious crime. Then it comes out that like, no, it was like a doctored image, like a picture of this girl like on a red carpet and like a big penis in the corner. Like it was like photoshopped.
Okay.
And it wasn't like it wasn't harmless, but it wasn't harmful. It was very different than what everyone had thought. And then it comes out that she got suspended. Like, oh, that's weird. Because like Kenya is like a queen. She's like kind of a cornerstone of the franchise. And like comparatively, like of all the things that have gone down on Bravo, it's like really not that crazy. Like, and then people immediately started comparing it to Tom Sandoval. Like Tom Sandoval is in an active lawsuit for revenge porn. And he is not only like an active cast member on Vanderpump Rules, he's also getting cast on Traitors. Like why is this woman being treated so differently for a crime that appears so far to be way less severe? But then Kenya's statement kind of alludes to the fact that she wasn't suspended.
Yeah, or like you're going to be seeing more of me, because I'm here on Instagram Live. Like it's very vague and doesn't mean I'm not suspended. That's not what I'm getting. No, and people Or like I'm going to fight, I'll be back, Well, people say that she actually, if true, she was suspended, has enormous grounds for a lawsuit on gender and race discrimination because people on the network have done way worse things to each other. Then Tom Sandoval is the example everybody's citing, but without getting suspended. Tom Sandoval, I'm not sure that it's apples to apples because Tom Sandoval didn't like show anyone photos. Ariana was on his phone and saw the photos.
And sent them from his phone. They're both being sued, by the way, by Raquel. The difference is what you're pointing out, which you're right about, is that it wasn't on the show. So Bravo like has no obligation to act.
Right, and also like people do like bad things in their personal lives all the time. But like I don't really see the comparison here.
Well, I'm trying to think of an example of something somebody did on the show
that got them suspended.
Or didn't get suspended that would work in her favor.
The last suspension I can think of was like Brandi Glanville and Caroline Manzo.
And that was bad.
Yeah. But again, not a comparable situation.
No. Well, honestly, I feel like it's, in a fucked up way, great hype for the season. I feel like Atlanta has kind of been, I feel like they're at a place that like OC, New York kind of gets to when like the OGs, it's just like Cynthia left, she came back. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That is so crazy.
Yeah, bizarre.
And, okay. Yeah. I guess until you see the picture, whatever happened, it's hard to say who, and to say like who's been mistreated here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Kenya Moore hair care.
Are you ready for our next story?
No, I'm literally not at all.
Okay.
Is it the next story that's brought to you by Built Rewards? Listen up if you rent. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in this endless loop of rent payments, watching your money vanish into thin air? It's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards, and that's where Built Rewards comes in. Built is breaking ground as the first rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. What is your biggest expense every month as a renter? Obviously, it's your rent, and the fact that you can't earn points for that up until now has been so frustrating. It's also just like such a missed opportunity. So if you're paying rent, even like the old school way with a check, Built has got your back. They'll mail the check for you. It's like basically having a personal rent paying assistant, and then you will earn rewards, points off of your rent payments. So every month, pay your rent and then watch the Built points roll in. You can use them to jet off on a dream vacation. You can put your points towards a flight or a hotel. with over 500 airlines and over 700,000 hotel and property partners. You can use your points to sweat it out. You can book fitness class studios. You can also use your points towards a future rent payment or towards a future down payment on a home. I've been a Built Rewards member like since the very, very beginning. It's fabulous. Paying rent is literally the worst part of my month, but Built Rewards makes it a little bit better. You can earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/toast. Built is spelled BILT. Joinbuilt.com/toast. That's JOINBILT.com/toast. In the spirit of transparency, yes, I am a Built Rewards member. I'm also an investor in the company. I believe in it. I think it's hella useful. Today's episode is also brought to you by RHOA. You all know RHOA, and we absolutely love their new line for women. The RHOA's women's hoodie and jogger sets are incredible. They're so soft, we cannot take them off. They're incredibly comfortable. The fabric is called V-Soft because it's literally V-Soft, very soft. Perfect to like look put together, but also comfortable. So whether you're spending the day running around in public, not wanting to look like a slob, you can feel like a slob, but not look like one because the outfits are so comfortable, but they're also put together. They're really, you could dress them up, a nice necklace, cool sneaks, dress them down, a pair of flip-flops. Whether it's a lazy day or out running errands, we love to wear our RHOA hoodie and jogger sets. So get yourself a set and stay toasty all season long. Their crew necks are equally as soft. Everybody knows that we love a good crew neck, and these are just the best. They've also restocked their active dress, which is made with their signature GTG technology. You're able to keep your dress on when you're on the go and when you have to go. It's genius. We don't know how they did it. They're made with lightweight, breathable fabrics that are designed to keep you comfortable while you're on the move. Also, don't sleep on the RHOA line of men's clothing. They're fabulous, great for the guy in your life. If you haven't already, it's now time to try out RHOA. Use our code TOAST on RHOA.com for a generous 20% off your first order through the end of this week. So RHOA.com is spelled RHOBACK.com, and that's 20% off hoodies, joggers, crews, and more with the code TOAST, TOAST. Stay comfortable this season with RHOA. RHOA.com, code TOAST, TOAST.
Thank you, La.
And thank you, RHOA, for sponsoring today's episode.
Our next story, fire broke out at Carrie Underwood's home in Tennessee. Her and her family are unharmed. However, there was a fire on her property in Tennessee. Her and her family are safe and uninjured after the fire broke out on Sunday evening. A spokesperson for the country singer told ET, quote, "There was a fire on the property on Sunday night, which was quickly contained. There was no fire damage to the primary residence, and the family and their pets were unharmed." Local news agency reported that the Williamson County Fire Rescue dispatched all 8 available units to the property after the fire was reported at around 9:40 p.m.
Damn, like if the fire department's showing up, it's not like a kitchen fire, you know?
Yeah, they found a fully engaged fire inside the property's garage.
That is so... A garage. What do you think, like, set it off? What's in the garage? Like,
I feel like a lot of stuff.
Because like, if there's a fire in my house, it's coming from the master bathroom where I did my hair and left my iron on, you know? Like, what would spark? I guess, like, there's just, like, a lot of electrical tings in a garage.
I think so. People use their garages for a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, Shannon just turned hers into a gym, which looks like just lovely and spa-like. People obviously use it for like tools and things of that nature.
Yeah, Brie Vandekamp used it as a studio.
Most people, I would say, use it for storage for crap they'll never use or need, but for some reason can't get rid of.
Right. Also, some people have an electric vehicle charger.
Some people just leave their cars in their garage too.
Some people do leave their cars in their garage. And I just have to say, ever since it's been raining, like, garages are amazing.
They are.
We get in the car dry, and we get out of the car dry.
No, that's really, as you know, 2 girls who grew up in Manhattan, like, that's a luxury.
Bringing in my groceries when it's just in the garage, it's the craziest thing. I've really been enjoying my garage, and I finally learned how to pull in and out of it, which is exciting for me, without denting my car.
Have you ever had a house fire, like, or apartment fire, like anything? It's kind of like the scariest thing on the planet.
Yeah, no.
Me neither, thank God, knock wood.
Yeah, very scary, but I'm glad it all is well for Miss Carrie.
I was actually listening to a little Carrie Underwood this morning. I was on like this country.
You treated yourself, I see.
I did, to a little All-American Girl, which is Carrie Underwood's best song.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fighting words. I don't disagree. Like, and it's certainly easily in the top top 5 even, but I would really have to think about it.
Honey, you ought to know, sweet little beautiful.
It's so good. You're right. You're right. But you know, I have a special...
And the way like it comes full circle, like they had a baby
arc,
and the baby meets the girl, and like it's gorgeous. It's country music songwriting at its finest.
And you know what? It reminds me of that book, I'll Love You Forever, where it's like full circle.
No, it's, you know, it's emblematic of.
What?
It's the circle of life.
And I think there's a lot of songs on Luke Combs' new album that have that message.
Yeah,
you know,
circle of life.
I did this with my dad, now I do it with my son, and then my son one day will do it with his son, thinking of me as his dad, etc.
I think I would really enjoy a Circle of Life like reboot, like country stripped down Luke Combs version. Now that I think about it, it's such a Luke's coded song.
I would love a reboot stripped down country Luke Combs version of anything.
Of like an actual dump I took this morning, like.
And I feel like when Luke put out this album, he kind of felt like he needed to caveat it, which he didn't whatsoever.
I know, he released this statement.
He released a statement just being like, this is what's been going on in my life. Like, I have 2 sons under 2. Like, this is top of mind for me every day. It's what I've been thinking about, what I've been writing about. And so here are my songs. Like, it's tough to not want to put out like The Next Beer Never Broke My Heart, but like, that's just not my reality right now. So like, here are my songs, take them or leave them. Like, I guess this is my next album, technically. You know, so SRY pretty much is what he said.
And I felt so bad. I was like, you don't have to apologize. You don't have to explain yourself. Like, go off.
No, and this weekend, when Zach and I were driving, I was telling him, I'm like, let's listen to the new Luke Combs album. Like, it's called Fathers and Sons, because like he wrote it just about fatherhood. I'm like, it's literally for you. Like,
literally.
He was like loving it. I'm like jealous.
Yeah.
Because it's for him. Like, I do when I listen to it, like I relate to like all of the themes. I don't know if I'll ever be hunting, but you know, it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor, like, yeah.
And it made me think, like, do people, you know who's kind of writing songs like that for mothers?
Let me think.
I don't know if you'll guess, but you'll agree when I tell you.
Who?
Gabby Barrett.
Yes.
Is writing the equivalent of like new parenthood.
Young motherhood experience.
I was just about to say like, oh, I wish I had an album like that was like about motherhood. And I'm sure there are songs throughout history and herstory. It's really herstory that touch on those themes. But right now it's Gabby Barrett doing the work. So shout out to Gabby Barrett.
And shout out to country music.
And also one of her songs from her new album, Dance Like No One's Watching. Have you heard that song?
Mm-mm.
Beautiful, written by Luke Combs. I feel like they're just operating on the same wavelength right now of like parenthood.
Living on a farm, killing it at work, but also having a good work-life balance.
Yeah. So I was just about to complain about the misogyny in Luke Combs' album.
No, the misogyny in Luke Combs being a man is really, really, like, it's damaging.
It is. And so like, it was just like, there you go, Zach. Enjoy.
On a platter.
We loved it though. We listened to it all weekend and it came out right in time for Father's Day. Like, it was seriously beautiful. He's doing the most.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be okay, La.
Why?
I don't know. You seem sad.
When I climb into bed, I didn't start feeling sad. I feel happy. I met Kelly Brianne last night. Our merch is flying off the shelves. I'm healthy, knock wood, you know? Like, what?
Show in 9 days.
I'm getting a Botox today.
I thought you were just getting sad about FD for a second.
Oh, no. I'm fine. No, I'm kidding.
Just getting really sad about me talking for a long time?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say I'm definitely hungry.
What's on for lunch?
I actually brought like a little, I always get so hungry after the toast, but it's like a little early to blow my load on lunch. And when I do, I'm like, okay, great, I ate lunch at 11:30. What am I doing at 12:30, you know? So I've been bringing like a little nice yogurt and banana to the studio for like a late breakfast. That way I can have lunch at 1 o'clock and not be like so ravenous. I'm just like hungry all the time and I just need to start, that's what they say, you should have 5 mini meals a day instead of like 3 big meals. And I like it.
I'm actually having the opposite experience. I usually eat like a little bar before the toast, and then I'll have these days I have a slice of sourdough and egg, and it's like I actually just need to have that for breakfast, but I don't have time to make it before the toast. So now I'm just trying to push it, and I'll eat that right after the toast. It's a brunch. I'm having brunch.
It also just depends where you live. I feel like your home layout is really desirable for breakfast. Like I see that Eaton kitchen, I'm like, oh, I gotta have breakfast, you know? I'm like, where the fuck am I gonna eat my breakfast? My apartment, it's not right. It's not conducive.
It's not a breakfast apartment?
No, maybe in the next one.
It's lunchy though, for sure.
It's a great apartment for lunch. You should come by sometime.
Okay, ready for our fifth and final story?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
A little biz content news.
Okay.
Netflix will open massive entertainment and dining and shopping complexes in 2 cities in 2025. So Netflix has announced the first 2 cities for its gigantic new in-person experience venues slated to open in 2025. They're not exactly theme parks, but the new they're called Netflix House. Okay. They will open next year in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and Dallas, Texas. They'll feature a wide array of shopping outlets, eateries, and experiential activities tied to the streamer's major franchises like Bridgerton, Stranger Things, and Squid Games. The 2 locations will occupy former department store locations at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, and at the Galleria in Dallas, which is a sister to where we got our ears parsed. They will each span footprints of more than 100,000 square feet. The Netflix House will build on previous pop-up live experiences the company has staged for Bridgerton, Money Heist, Stranger Things, Squid Games, and Netflix Bites, designed to create an unforgettable venue to explore your favorite Netflix stories and characters beyond the screen year-round.
Well, I feel like 2 ways about this, because it being like, building on they've done, and there's for some of their shows that aren't like Netflix sanctioned programs, but like there are these Bridgerton events that aren't put on by Netflix, but like thousands of people show up. So I understand like them putting together experiences in real life for their shows for the fans, kind of like Comic-Con energy. But the whole other element of like having like shops and regular shops and restaurants, like, I don't know, it's like you're the biggest company in the world. Can you just like stay in your fucking lane? Like, can you let somebody else own a restaurant?
Oh, yeah. I feel a different way about it, which it's like we need to talk about the American mall and what's happening to it, what's going to happen to it. I think some new malls have eclipsed like the mall trajectory of really going downhill. But like most malls in the country are pretty vacant. It's not
a dying business.
It's a dying business, but there are these like huge spaces. And the idea that people like aren't going to, they could go out and do other things. But like a mall was like a cornerstone in the American experience. And so I think them turning into these sort of like content theme parks, whatever, I think it's good because I'm pro mall.
Actually, I actually, you've changed my mind, because you're right. Like Netflix is one of these companies that's keeping people inside, keeping people alone, keeping people streaming, and anything they can do to encourage people to get outside, connect with human beings in the real world, is fabulous. It's almost like counteracting their contributions to society.
It is, and I think that's good, and it's good for overall mental health. I think these are like tangible things that we could do to solve the mental health crisis.
I actually agree. I think that's a great take.
I don't think that's why they're doing this. I think they just like want to make money and are fucking around and trying new things. But I think overall it would be added value to society.
And I bet they'll have, you know what? I think they'll also have like concert venues in there, because Netflix throws a lot of in-person events. Like Netflix is a joke festival, and they're making so much money for like Live Nation and all these different promoter companies that own these venues. And, that's money lost. So if they are having their Netflix is a joke festival in Dallas and Jerry Seinfeld is doing the King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, like it's just keeping more of that money that they generate in-house for them.
Yes. Also, the way I see like Netflix House, and maybe it's just because like the rendering, like I would assume.
Oh, let me look at the rendering.
I would assume the whole mall would be called like Netflix House, not just like one store within the Galleria.
Oh, same. Is it not?
No, like the Galleria is the mall and the King of Prussia is the mall, and they're going to like take over an old department store that's 100,000 square feet. That still is really big, but maybe this is just a stepping stone to the Netflix mall in general.
Wait, I'm sorry. So it's not a Netflix mall?
It is, but it's in the mall in a really big space. But it's in the same building. It's not its own building.
So it's occupying a part of an old mall, not like taking over the whole mall.
Say the Macy's at the Galleria has gone out. I don't know what store they're taking. It would be like in an old department store at the Galleria.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Got it. Okay.
Because then also, it could also become like a movie theater where you could go and watch your fave shows. It's so funny how now they're programming us to go back to the way things were when they programmed us to be bingers. Now everything is episodic and we're going to go watch at the movies.
But you know what? I'm okay with it. Like, I want to go back.
I want to go back too. If I could turn back time.
I like that. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
You've changed my mind.
Love that.
I love you. I love this show. I love our merch.
I love you. You love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Even though you already just told me you loved me. So I'm not going to ask twice.
Oh, tell me you love me. Oh, man, we're literally just playing that game. Like, you know, with the words.
Yeah, we're like that scene in Pitch Perfect.
You know?
It's not about the money.
It ain't about the...
We don't need your money.
We just want to make the world dance.
Forget about the price tag.
Okay, so our merch is available at shoptoastmerch.com. Items are selling quite quickly, so just as Jackie said, perfectly make haste. Reminder, we are both wearing all the items. This t-shirt that I'm wearing is sold out, and it's one size, but everything else we wear in size medium. So just for reference, if you want an oversized look, we recommend sizing up one size.
But it's sized pretty much the same as our previous merch. Like, we've just changed sizes. Like, we've changed, not the merch. Because usually I was wearing a large.
Yeah, I used to wear an XL, and that's like just... kind of speaks to our fluidness and our ability to sort of
evolve and grow and shrink
or increase, which I'm sure is in my future.
Grow, yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Toast the Monday Morning Show, where we deliver the fast life stories that you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube.
Every day.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as podcasts anywhere podcasts can be found. So that's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Video, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places where you listen to podcasts. Find us to leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, about how stunning, about how wickedly talented we are. We love you like so much, and we will see you tomorrow for Hump Day.
Won't you say you love ya? Bye.